away from the wicked Queen Morgrid of the glass tower. She set the brush down. But I'm in no need of a new set. The hairs on the back of her neck raised on end. She glanced over her shoulder. No one was even looking in her direction, the townsfolk bartering their wares like any other market day. Peculiar. Oh, I have something that would suit you superbly. The jeweler pulled her attention back to the table as he ducked beneath the skirt, riffled around, then popped back up with a square red velvet box. Now this, he said, opening it, this is something to match your beauty. Sienna sucked in a breath and touched 2 fingertips to the necklace pendant on a thin silver chain. Oh! Inlaid in the finest silver she'd ever seen was a running wolf, the body made entirely of tiny diamonds, except for a ruby eye. The craftsmanship was beyond compare. So unique! She angled it toward the setting sun, the jewels winking like fairy lights. So beautiful! Thank you, my lady. Much like you. She smiled, having grown accustomed to such flattery over the years, but his compliment seemed genuine. She knew she could neither afford such a jewel, nor did she need an adornment like this. She was no longer the fine lady of Dale's Peak, milling amongst the aristocracy and courting the gentlemen to find a good match. Still, she wondered at the cost. How much is this necklace? For you, I could let it go for 50 sovereigns. She nearly choked. That was higher than she could have imagined, and he was giving her a bargain. Thank you, but not today. Not ever, actually. You are a fine craftsman, sir. He bowed. It pleases me to hear you say so. The sun slipped lower. The sudden need to be safe in her cottage urged her on. Good day, sir. Good day, my lady. Pulling up the hood of her cloak, she made her way back down the road toward Sylvain Forest. Once more she had the distinct feeling she was being watched. And once more she saw no one who seemed suspicious when she glanced over her shoulder. It was a brisk walk to the woods. Once there, her guardians would be waiting for her, and she would be safe. Rounding the bend, she turned off the lane abruptly and quickened her pace. While she couldn't spot anyone behind her, a shiver raised gooseflesh on her skin, a foreboding she could not shake. The line of trees was just ahead, whispering of safety. Unable to control her growing panic, she tucked her basket closely and ran. The old gnarled oak stood just ahead, the marker that she was only feet away from stepping into the shade of the forest. A shower of red, orange, and gold leaves drifted down, creating a harvest gown around roots protruding across the grassy lane. Sienna fled into a full sprint and tripped over a particularly knotty root, catching her fall with her hands. Her basket fell open, pears rolling away. A familiar masculine voice sounded on her left. Am I that frightening that you must run at my nearness? Adrenaline shot like lightning through her frame. Leaning back against the old oak was the man of her dreams. Quite literally. For the past few months, she would wake in the morning sweating and breathless from the sensual pleasures he'd given her. She'd swear by heaven to never think of him again, and certainly not about the wicked things he was doing to her each night. Until the next night, of course. And there he was, arms and ankles casually crossed, soft black leather pants fitting him all too well, blonde hair falling partly over one eye, devilish smile in place. He looked like a mutinous pirate taking a jaunt on land for a bit of pillaging. Lieutenant Nikolai, have you been following me? She sat back on her rump, gathering her runaway pears. Of course I was. Not very gentlemanly of you. I needed to speak with you. Well, the normal course of action is to walk up to a lady and say, "Good afternoon. Might I have a word, my lady?" Not skulk about and frighten her to death. She slapped the top of her basket shut. Vampire swift, he was there, lifting her to her feet. She wobbled, for it was too fast for her human senses, but his hands banded her waist underneath her red...